So welcome to the first application, to the first practice project. We're going to be building an NBA Tiny application. If you know me, you know that I am an NBA fan. I'm a Knicks fan. You know, they lose a lot. This year, they're doing a little bit better, but, you know, they suck. But, you know, I love the Knicks. So this is going to be the final result of the first part of the application. We're going to be building this. We are not going to do a desktop application because we're going to spend a lot of time doing the media queries for everything. You know, we're just going to do a mobile application, a mobile lookalike. So this is a React course, not a CSS course. So we are not going to spend a lot of time doing the CSS. Okay, so this is the home, the home of the application. We can have a slider, we can have a header, then we can have some news, and we're going to be using a fake database with JSON Server. If you don't know JSON Server, don't worry. I'm gonna explain you how you can use it. It's going to be really useful. Then of course we're going to load more news. If we go to videos, we have a section for videos. Now, for example, if I click inside of a news, you know, it's going to take us to the main article. If you go back to home, it's going to take it back to home. Same thing with videos, the main article, and then we can have a related videos section. And what else? We can have a side nav, of course, some options. It's going to take us to home. We can have a news section that is going to be pretty much all the news, and we can load more news. What else? We're going to have videos. Inside videos, same idea. We can have a list of videos and we can load more videos. What else? Oh, and this sections, the news and the videos, this is something that you're going to do alone. After we do the home and everything else, you're going to be able to do this once on your own. Either way, I'm going to show you how I did it so you can compare the code. So this is what we need to do. This is the first part of the NBA application practice project. Then we're going to create a sign in, a sign out. We're going to create an administrator web page so we can enter new articles and everything else. But that's the second part. We need to learn about where we're going to put this project, which database we're going to use. In this case, we're going to use Firebase for this one. But this is it's going to be, we're going to do that later. We're not there yet. So first, we need to install. We need to do a lot of things. So I've created a new folder inside my course folder, and it's going to be called 04 NBA app. This is the name of my application. You can name yours whatever you want. It doesn't matter. So the first step is to navigate to that folder or navigate to the directory that it's going to contain that folder. And we need to create React app. We need to bring all the files for a React application. So I'm going to say create-react and then app. And since I'm already inside the directory I want, I'm going to do space and dot. And it's going to create all the files. It's going to bring all the files inside this directory. So I'm going to press enter. It's going to start doing this. It's going to take a while. So I'm going to pause the video and be right back. Okay, so everything is installed. We have a React application, and the first thing that we are going to do is to delete all the files that we don't need. The public, we're going to leave it as it is, and then inside the source, we're going to delete everything else. So I'm going to go to app.css. I'm going to delete this. Move to trash. Same thing with the app.js. Delete. The only thing that we can just save is going to be the index.js. That's the only thing that we can keep. So index.js, goodbye, say CSS, sorry, goodbye. Then the index.js, I'm gonna pretty much delete everything. Gonna just keep the React and React DOM, goodbye CSS, goodbye app, and service worker, just for now. And then right here, register service worker, we are not gonna use it. We're just gonna leave this. What else? We have the SVG, we're gonna delete it, move to trash, and register service worker. You're not going to use it. Going to delete it. Good. So the only thing that we have left is only the index.css. Now for this project, if you notice, we can have some images. We can have a lot of images, some icons, maybe the logo. So as a resource, I've added a download. You can need to download it. So it's going to be a bunch of images for the videos and everything else. So download the folder and put it inside public. Is going to be an images folder. So download it. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to pause the video and put the images folder right here. Okay, everything ready. I have the images folder right here. We can have 3 different sections. We can have articles. We can have themes, which is the each logo, all the logos of the NBA. Maybe we're gonna use it later. And then we can have a video section, and the NBA logo and the play icon. We can have a bunch of icons. Really simple. Just put the images folder inside public. Now, what else? We have the public ready. What we need to do, we need to install a lot of things. So we have routes. We're going to be using React Router. We have icons, so we're going to be using Font Awesome. We have a site nav, so we need to install a dependency for the site nav. And we can be using a slider right here, so we need to install a slider. So first, I'm going to go right here to the terminal. I'm going to do clear, and I'm going to do npm install, just like this. And first, we need to install React Router. So I'm going to say React, then Router, and then DOM. Okay, that's good. What else? We're going to be using a React Font Awesome. So I'm going to say React, and then Font and Awesome. Just like that. Now for the React Font Awesome, you're going to need the CSS for this. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to say CDN.js, and then Font Awesome. And right here, we're going to have the Font Awesome CDN. I'm just going to copy the Font Awesome CSS, the min. I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to go to the project, and I'm going to go to the index. We're not going to use this for now, and I'm going to paste the Font Awesome CSS. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. It's going to be, of course, it's going to be a link. So I'm going to just change the location. Going to paste the URL, and then I'm going to say style sheet, and I'm going to delete the one at the bottom. Okay, that's good. What else? I'm going to go back, and we have React Font Awesome. What else? We're going to need to install the a dependency for the side nav. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to do space, and it's going to be called React. Oh, sorry. Let me make this bigger. It's going to be called React, then dash, and then simple, because it's real simple, and dash, and then side nav. If I go to right here and say React simple side nav and then GitHub, it's going to take us to the project of this. So it's real simple. It's going to be this one, just a simple side nav. Ours is going to be black, so we're going to change the styling for this. But this one, it's really, really simple to use. So we're going to be using this one. Okay, so that one is ready. React simple side nav. What else we're gonna use? We're gonna have a slider right here. So we're gonna be using an application dependency that is gonna be called React Slick. So I'm gonna say React Slick and then GitHub. It's gonna take us here, and at the beginning, it's gonna say, okay, we need to install something called React Slick, and then it's gonna use the CSS on the fonts. So you can use it as an import, but I'm not gonna do this. I'm just gonna use this ones. I'm gonna just put the links to the CSS. So I'm gonna go right here and paste that. Okay, I'm gonna go back, and after this, I'm gonna say space and then React and then Slick. And then of course, remember to put -- save. I'm gonna press enter. It's gonna take a while because we have a few dependencies, and I'm gonna pause the video and be right back. Okay, so everything is installed, so we are kind of ready to start coding. I'm gonna go to the index.js. Gonna close the welcome. I'm gonna go to index.js, and we're gonna start creating the app function, so we can return at least something. So first, we're gonna create a stateless function. It's gonna be app, and it's gonna be equal to just a function. And this one is going to be returning the routes. So remember that to use the browser router to create routes, we need to import React Router DOM. So I'm going to say import, and then inside it's going to be browser, and then router. And it's going to be from, and then of course React Router, and then DOM. Good. So this This function will return something, open and close, and it's going to be returning the browser router we just imported at the top, open and close. Now inside here, we're going to be returning the routes. You could do the routes right here, it doesn't matter. Just I like to split everything in tiny pieces of code. That's the main idea of this. So it's going to be routes. Okay. So now right here, you're saying that inside browser router, we want to bring something called routes. We don't have it yet. So I'm going to go right here and I'm just going to do it beforehand. We're going to create a component that is going to be fitting the routes. So it's going to be routes. So it's going to be from, and then it's going to be on the same directory. We're going to be call it routes, something that makes sense. So I'm going to create a new file that is going to be called routes.js. And inside the routes.js is going to be, again, a component. So we need to do all the logic for this. I'm going to say import React, then comma, and it's going to be a state component. So it's going to be components. And then from React. Good. What else? We need to import, since we're going to be using routes, we're going to be importing something from React router DOM. So I'm going to say import, and then I'm going to bring route because we're going to be passing routes, and we're going to be using switch, just like we did before. And it's going to be from, and then of course React router, and then DOM, just like that. Looks nice. Now I'm going to create a class, and it's going to be called routes. And this class is going to extends, and then components. Good. So once you do all of this by hand, again, you're going to be using the snippets. I'm just typing everything because I'm showing you how to do it. But in real life, I use the snippets. So of course, this one is going to be rendering something. And this could be a stateless component. But for the routes, I always like to create a class-based component because I could have some state. So I'm going to say return, and we're going to be returning something. So what we are going to be returning is going to be the switch, just like that, open and close. And now we need to create the routes. But before we do that, we're going to do something else. Now, our application is going to have a header and a footer. Now the thing is that if I pass the route of home, we're just going to be rendering home, and we're going to be always including the header and the component on each section. We're going to need to include the header and footer inside home, then inside news and inside videos and whatever. So what we could do right here is to create a high order component. So we're going to be rendering the header and the footer no matter what. So I'm going to create it right now. So on the route, I'm going to say route. First, I'm going to create the home so we can at least run the application and see home, just to check that everything is working. So the route is going to take a path, and the path is going to be // which means home. And I'm going to say exact, and it's going to be equal to component, and we're going to pass the component that we're going to be using for home. We don't have it yet. I'm going to create it right now. It's going to be home. And then, of course, close. I'm going to create it right now. I'm going to go to source and create a new folder that is going to be called components. And we can have all the components inside here. So it's going to be components. And inside component, we can have a new folder that is going to be called home. And inside home, we can have a file that is going to be called home.js. Real simple. This one is going to be just for now, just a functional component. We're going to import React from React, something real simple. Gonna do this, and then I'm gonna say const and then home, and then it's gonna return some code, some JSX. So it's gonna do return, open and close, and inside here we're gonna say just home. Now we're just returning something dumb right here. We're just returning this. So what we could do, if you're just returning some JSX, you could do this, and this is still going to work. But for now, I'm going to just do it like this. I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to say export default, and then home, just like that. So this component is ready. I'm going to go back to routes. I'm going to need to do the same thing for routes, export default, and then routes. So this could be a link. And what else? Okay, so we have the routes and we have the home. So in theory, if we run this, we should be getting this route. Just for fun, just to check that everything is working and I don't get any errors, I'm gonna go to the terminal and I'm gonna do clear. And I'm gonna do npm start. It's gonna take a minute. It's telling me that I have something already running on port 3000. It's the other application, the finished application. So I'm gonna do yes, and it's gonna be running this inside a different port. But don't worry, yours is gonna be 3000. Doesn't matter. Okay, so home is not defined. The thing is that we are saying that we want to display home, but we are not importing. We are not telling React where to find this home component. So I'm gonna say import, and it's going to be home, and then from, and it's going to be ./components/ then home / and home. It's going to re-render, and we get home. So, you know, at least we are getting something. It's working. We are not getting any errors. Good. So we need to create the layout component, which is going to be a high order component. This video took too long. It's already like 17 minutes. So I'm going to go to the next video. Okay, so catch you on the next one.